I was given a death sentence of less than a year to live. It felt like I was thrown into a deep sea in the middle of a storm, not knowing how to swim. Through all of that chaos, that was the biggest wake-up call for me that I am now terminally ill. There are just no words that could possibly articulate how it really felt when someone tells you that you're dying.
Afia, my second daughter, she was born very early, actually she was born around 26 weeks. So she was born very early and very small. That's basically about the size of my palm. One night when I woke up, I noticed that my water broke. It was spontaneous, there was no reason for it. We managed to get in touch with the head of gynecology, Dr. Ravi, and he said, let's try to just prolong as much as possible, because every day that she's inside, every month that she's inside, best place for her to grow.
A year ago, I've experienced the worst day in my life. I remember everything that happened on that day like it was yesterday. That moment when my mom told me that something's not right, when the frustrated nurse that we kept harassing just checked the monitors and just went into panic mode, knowing that something was not right with the machines. My father wasn't breathing. When the ICU doctor came to me, they've reached the end of anything medical that could help my father.
In September 1998, I was 13 when my father was the Deputy Prime Minister. Then he was sacked and they filed him a few horrible defamation lies and charges. He was deemed a political prisoner, so it's like a worldwide thing. And after the whole years and years of trial, when he was sentenced, we were allocated 45 minutes once a month. And then as the years went by, from the once a month became once in 3 weeks, and once in 2 weeks, once a week. Not to be able to see him once a month, and 1 month, as you go through so many things. And within that month, we have to just shorten it with a 45 minutes phone call, and you have to share it. So it was very valuable to me, even 1 minute. And we were trying not to let my other sister, she talks a lot, so we were always trying to get the phone away from her and to tell my dad, this happened, this teacher, my friend. It was really nice, but in a way it was a very bittersweet moment.
So one day I was at this mall and a fire was happening in one of the shops. I hear that there is a lady screaming for help inside, so I decided just to jump inside the fire and try to help. And when I'm bringing this lady out of the fire, an explosion happened with a burning oil, and then I jumped to cover her, and the oil catch on my arm, my leg. I ended up in the hospital for 3 months.
So in racing and drifting, we always drive in a really high speed kind of motion, and a lot of things will happen in a second. So we must be very prepared and do not make any mistakes in that second.
We tend to take things for granted, and that's what I really learned. When I was in the hospital, I witnessed a lot of deaths around me, and that's when it really struck me that life is so fragile and time is so short. And I really cherish every given time, every given moment so much. I really have to hang on for my dear life, and to be back here, it feels like almost like a rebirth, but with a bigger purpose and a whole different perspective on life.
I do wish that if she had that extra time inside, I think it wouldn't have been so tough for her, because she still bears the scar from all the tubes until today, and she doesn't remember it, of course, but as a mom, I kind of wish that she did not have to go through such a rough start in her life. So I don't begrudge the experience that we had, because I think it brought us closer as a family, and it shapes me into the person I am today. But it also makes me appreciate time more. Even if in my work, I always tell my clients to just be patient, give it time, give it time. You can't, certain things you can't rush. Certain things you just have to give it more time, just be patient with the process.
I have learned to live with no regrets. I'm regretting that one day that I went to work. The what ifs has been playing in my mind for a year, and I still can't get over it. So I always remind myself, do you want to go back? Do you want to live like that all the time? Ask yourself, what if, just because you missed that one moment, that one day, that you could do something special?
Yeah, for me, whatever we went through was a very humbling experience, and it really taught us a lot on really quality time, because life is short, and I know every family is dysfunctional in their own way, but they're still family. I can't speak for every family that's going through, but just savor the time with them. You never know, what's going to happen.
Time stopped, and I don't remember. I was not aware of time. You know, when your perception of time changes and you feel it's long time, but actually it was not that long. I don't know, maybe it was a minute or something like that. But in my memory, it's way longer. So I was shocked with all the situation, but I was not aware of time.
Time to me is very important. It can determine whether I'm position number 1 or position number 10. Because within a split of a second, milliseconds, a lot of things will happen.